Children, today we are going to start our next topic, ratio and proportion. So now we are going to study about ratio. What is ratio? How we use ratio in solving sums. Let's try to understand the term ratio. So we say that whenever two quantities of the same kind, ratio children is basically a comparison of two quantities or two units. ठीक? But the condition is both the quantities must be of same kind and have same unit, right? So it will be stated like two quantities of same kind and in the same unit in comparison or in division, then that will form a ratio. Suppose the first quantity is A and the second quantity is B, where B is a non-zero quantity. B cannot be equal to 0. This B cannot be equal to 0, otherwise this ratio will be not defined. So we say that if a first quantity is A and second quantity is B, when B is a non-zero quantity, then the first quantity, this A upon B, will form a ratio, A is to B, right? And this first term will be known as antecedent and the second term will be known as consequent. So doesn't matter how many ratios are given, all the first term will be known as antecedent and the second term will be known as consequent. Remember, second term cannot be equal to 0. Then there are few important points that need to be remembered. That ratio must be expressed to its lowest term. We have already studied. Suppose 4 upon 36 is written, then you can see this antecedent and consequent both are getting divided by 4. So 4 1 the 4 and 4 9 36. So the ratio in lowest term will be 1 by 9. Right, children? Suppose 8 upon 18 is written, so we can cancel both by 2, 2 4 the 2 9 the 18. So now 4 upon 9 will come. Now they have SCF 1. So this 4 by 9 is in lowest terms. There is another point that if we multiply or divide by any non-zero term in the ratio remains unchanged. That means suppose 4 by 9 is here. If you multiply 2 in the antecedent and 2 in the consequent, what will it become? 8 upon 18. Again 4 by 9 and 8 upon 18 will be same. That means the ratio remains unchanged if we divide or if we multiply by the same term in both the antecedent and the consequent. Right, children? Let's move towards few sums and try to understand the topic. Now, children, there is a sum in which Angelica makes a fruit drink mixing mango juice and orange juice in the ratio of 2:5. And Shani is also making another fruit drink in where the ratio of mango juice is to orange juice is 5:11. Both are making fruit drinks, but the ratio of mango juice is to orange juice are different in both their drinks. Angelica's ratio is 2:5 and Shani's ratio is 5:11. Right. Now the question is write each ratio in form of 1:n. We have to simplify the ratio in first part. Second part, we have to find which fruit drink has higher proportion of orange juice. That means which fruit drink has a more orange juice than another drink, right? Let's try to solve. If we see Angelica's ratio, that is 2:5. 2:5 means 2 upon 5, like this. And if we transfer this 2 to the denominator, so what will it become? It will become 5 by 2. Okay. When we have studied, when denominator is the when fraction is in the denominator, it will get reciprocal. That means 1 upon 5 by 2 or 2 by 5, it means the same. When this 5 by 2 will get reciprocal, when you take these 2 to the numerator, it will become 2 by 5. 1 into 2 by 5, that means 2 by 5. Right. So when we again transfer this 2 to the denominator, it will become 1 upon 5 by 2. 5 by 2 we can write as 1 upon 2.5. So we can say that now 1:n format for drink 1 is, drink A is 1 upon 2:5. Right. Let's see drink 2. The ratio is 5:11. Again this can be written as 5 by 11. So when we transfer this 5 to the denominator, it will become 1 upon 11 by 5. right? When we divide this denominator 5 by 2, what will get? 2.5. And when we divide 11 by 5, what will get? 2.2. Now we have both converted, we have converted both the ratios. Here this ratio will become 1 is to 2.5. This ratio has become 1 is to 2.2. That means if 1 liter of orange mango juice is there, then 2.5 liters of orange juice is there. In this drink B, which Anis has made, if 1 liter of mango juice is there, that means 2.2 liter of orange juice is there. Right, children? So when we compare these ratios, we can say that in Angelica's drink, the mango juice is to orange juice is 1 is to 2.5. In Shani's orange drink, fruit drink, the ratio of mango juice is to orange juice is 1 is to 2.2. Now we can clearly see which drink has more proportion of orange juice. This first drink which Angelica has prepared, so we can say that drink A has higher proportion of orange juice. Okay, so we have commented from the ratio that which drink has higher proportion of orange juice. Right, children? Note down, please. Let's discuss another sum, children. Here there is a person Jerry who is making concrete, and in that concrete which he is making, the ratio of cement is to sand is to gravel is 1 is to 2 is to 4. And the question is, if he is using 150 kg of sand for one job, then we have to calculate how much cement and gravel did he use and what is the total mass of concrete he made using 150 kg of sand. This is what we have to calculate. Right, children? Let's see the solution. Now let's see the solution, children. The ratio that they have given is cement is to sand is to gravel is 1 is to 2 is to 4. Right? What we'll assume that let x be any constant. So we will say that if x be any constant, then if the quantity of cement used is x, quantity of sand used is 2x, then the quantity of gravel be 4x. Right? So cement, sand and gravel quantity we have obtained. We say that cement is x kg, quantity of sand used is 2x kg and quantity of gravel used is 4x kg. Now we are given with quantity of sand which is 150 kg. So here the quantity of sand is 2x, here the quantity of sand is 150 kg. So we can say that is 2x equals to 150. When we do that, the value of x will be 150 upon 2, that is 75 kg. So here, from here we have calculated the value of x. So the quantity of cement used will be x, that will be 75 kg. And the quantity of gravel used will be 4x, that means 4 into x. X has value 75. 4 into 75, that will be 300 kg. So the total weight of concrete formed will be weight of cement plus weight of sand plus weight of gravel, that will be 525 kg. Right, children? Please note down. Let's see another sum, children. In this sum, the question states as a white gold is formed by mixing a gold, palladium, nickel and zinc in the ratio of 15 is to 2 is to 2 is to 1. Right? And they are saying that if the mass of the ring, white gold ring, is 12 grams, what is the mass of gold in it? Right? So we know that this gold ring has been made by mixing gold, palladium, nickel and zinc in the ratio of 15 is to 2 is to 2 is to 1. So the mass of the ring, from the mass of the ring which is which has 12 grams of white gold, the question is you have to calculate the mass of gold in that white gold. Right? Let's see how the solution will do. The ratio is given 15 is to 2 is to 2 is to 1. Let x be any constant. Okay. So this is gold, this is palladium, this is zinc, nickel, this is zinc. So we say that if the gold is 15x grams, then the weight of palladium will be 2x, the weight of nickel will be 2x and the weight of zinc will be x grams. So if we calculate the total weight of the white gold, that will be 15x plus 2x plus 2x plus x. Now the white gold is 20x grams formed. Right? Now, if this 20x, if we equate to this 12 grams, then the value of 20x equals to 12, then the value of x will be 20 upon 12 upon 20, that is 3 by 5. 4 3s are 12, 4 5s are 20. 3 by 5. Now we got the value of x. From this mixture, the weight of gold is 15x. And we got the value of x. Now when we put this x value here, we can calculate the weight of the gold, the quantity of gold in the ring. So the weight of gold will be 15x, that is 15 into 3 by 5, right? 5 3 the 15, that will be 9 grams. Right, children? Note down, do all the work in your ferroresistors, right?